our village trading center and do some trading. I want to be able to have this as a little bit of a tutorial for folks that are going over there and using stuff. So actually, first I need to finish off what I was doing on that ceiling. I finished that one little section that I couldn't do because of the lag before, and then I can offload my inventory because I don't want to carry this stuff around with me where I'm going. So to need to give a pie salute to myself. There you go. And yes, fear the pumpkin. Fear the pumpkin pie. That's right. Ah. Oh, back to actually doing something in the daylight, and of course went too high again. And there we go. Put up a sign, man. I don't know how many times I've got to make the same mistake before I finally learn something, but you know, that's how that is. So let's see how we do with fast blocks. Awesome. This is so much better than the first trial. I will probably remove all these from my YouTube because they are pretty boring and, you know, it's just me actually testing out how this particular program is going to work for the streaming. I'll probably try to keep streaming down to actual decent events like, you know, dragon hunts and stuff like that because nobody wants to see people just build lame stuff or rebuild stuff that was built by other much more talented uh, players of this fine game. So there, fixed that. Yes, I'm most definitely a rebuilder of things that others have built. That particular design of Iron Golem Farm is seen on Nim's TV quite often. It's the same kind of design he used, only I don't have an item sorter at the bottom because it's stupid and it glitches out all the time. Side-by-side item sorters are a bane, especially on a multiplayer server. They can glitch out for so many reasons, and you just end up having to redo the sorter all the time. When I do sorters, I almost always leave a space in between them so that, you know, they won't glitch out. And here's all those nice poppies I was talking about having. I meant to consolidate these. In 1.9, I don't know if any of you have noticed, but hoppers are glitching worse than I've ever seen in before, and this is just something I'm constantly checking my farms to make sure that they're actually still producing. So let's go offload this stuff. Unfortunately, I still haven't made my item sorter like I keep saying I'm going to every day, and somehow it never gets done. So, of course, I'm sitting here manually feeding stuff into chest constantly. I mean, certain things I wouldn't have in an item sorter anyway, like my consolidated junk drawers. And here I go. Now I'm to my standard hot bar. These are the items that like almost never leave my hot bar. I almost always keep these same things in my hot bar, and even if I don't, I move them somewhere else into my inventory so that I don't all of a sudden run around and start doing stuff like mining without a bucket of water. So I'm grabbing up all these nice crops that I created with the nano farm. This nano farm can be found on Impulse's video feed. So It's a very quick build. I mean, literally, his tutorial takes like what 6 minutes to look at, and even when you're doing it the first time, it takes you maybe 5 minutes. It's awesome, especially if you have a skeleton spawner anywhere in the area, because it uses a lot of bones, but it produces within 10-15 minutes, a full inventory of crops that you can use. And my big use for these crops is trading at the Village Trading Center. Now, the Village Trading Center on this particular map was the area that I first started playing at when Mel, one of our other players, first got on the server, and he was one of the first ones that was on this new map when we started bug testing the 1.9 snapshots, and he found a village, and so I just ran over there and started setting up at that location. It was at the edge of a desert and a birch forest, and on the last server, I was at the edge of a desert and a savanna biome, and I didn't want to live in the desert anymore. So I got into that build, discovered some of the really laggy, buggy things about villagers in 1.9, and just said, all right, I don't really want to live here. And from the original spawn point in, okay, the original spawn point of this this world map was like right next to a megataiga, and said, all right, well, I'm going to go to that megataiga and find me a place to live. And that's what I did. So, and here we are at the area where the Village Trade Center is. We'll let these blocks all render. Nice. So, since this is a village trading area, I don't really care to have a bunch of aggressive mobs, so it's lit up from hell. That's on purpose. We don't want all the aggressive mobs coming in from everywhere. Zombies track out from very far away. I left one area where where they're able to track in, so that you bring in a bunch of zombies. But for the most part, I spent a lot of time just lighting up the area because I don't want them to be here. So this is the Village Trading Center. It's a very sweet thing, and we have one nice little farmer over here. So I like to come and trade my stuff to the farmer. So we do this nice trading of veggies with the farmer, and look, he's still open. All right, so he's locked up on that one, and we're gonna go ahead and trade him up these carrots. And he's locked up on that one, and now we're gonna go to the wheat, and he's still going. Oh, yay! Look, and now he's locked up on that one. So we're gonna back off, and hopefully he unlocks, and he does, because he's got all kinds of stuff. So I've got mending on like every single item that I've got. So let's trade off. Since we are getting XP, and I don't know if you know about mending, but mending is like the most awesome of the new things in Minecraft, in my opinion. You don't need diamonds except for like 19 diamonds to begin with at the beginning of the game, and boom. You literally never need to mine another diamond, and you could do everything in the game. I mean, everything. It is that great of an enchant. It wouldn't be surprising to me if they took it away because it's that good that they made this. So what you see me doing here is actually trading from three different types of uh, crops over and over and over. And by doing this, most of the time, boom, the farmer will reset all the time, right? You don't end up having to buy back anything. Farmers are like one of the easiest uh, villagers to trade with and actually make emeralds with. You know, a lot of the other ones, like librarians, will you'll spend so much buying back from them, buying stuff back from them to unlock them that you end up losing money. You know, the way it is in real life. Yeah, you have to buy so much stuff. But from the farmers are just like mega suckers. You sit here and keep buying from them and buying from them and selling them stuff, and boom, back off. And look at that. He reset again. So if I get all the way through this without having to buy back anything from him, I will end up with on the order of 108 emeralds. I think that's under his limit. I forget what his number is on that. Nope, he's 15 on that. Yep. So switch over to the carrots. And so far, this has been a great run. Usually, if I do have to do a buyback, I will concentrate on buying something that I want first before I buy back stuff that I don't really want. A lot of people live under the mistaken impression that you have to use the last trade that the farmer has or any villager has to unlock him, and that's just not the case. Oh, he unlocked again. So I've been able to repair my pick just from the XP I've been getting here. That's an awesome thing. So I'll move over to another thing. I kind of like to wait for the particles to finish before I start trading again, only because, if they lock up right away on something, it's hard to actually see if they're going to unlock because the particles were still going from the last time that you unlocked them. So once again, this was a perfect run. And there is my 108 emeralds from uh, being able to trade those three crops in rotation to him. And does he unlock that last time? He does. Once again, he unlocks. So most of the time, you can get that to happen. If it fails to happen, one of my favorite buys from them, of course, is apples. Since apples are so hard to find in the game naturally, this is like the easiest place to get your frickin' apples and sit there, buy his entire stock of apples, boom, reset him. Uh, you know, I I live off of pumpkin pies, so I don't mind buying some pumpkin pies. I mean, there's almost everything that you can buy from him is great. You do not have to sit here and go and buy a cake. I mean, cakes are so worthless in my opinion. But you know, it doesn't matter what it is that you're sitting there going for. Usually, if you can do that three trade thing, you can keep a farmer happy forever, and that's a nice thing, because the farmer gives you what it is that you want, and that I think that turns into what 12 blocks of emeralds for me. So that's a nice thing, and that means I have, you know, plenty of uh, plenty of money to spend on those more expensive guys like the librarians. Yep, see there's 12 more blocks of emeralds. And it's very necessary sometimes to keep those emeralds on hand because you got guys that just will not reset, and you don't have the the option of uh, selling them multiple things. You know, With my librarians, I sit there and sell them the paper, and I'll lock up. And most of the time, I'll come and buy bookshelves because you always need books, right? And then also, if you get the bookshelves from them, you can sit there and sell them back books or written books. You know, so that can be a good thing too. Buying back glass. Always sit there and try to avoid the big ticket item as far as possible. But sometimes they lock all the way up, and that's the only thing you've got left to buy from them. Other villagers that I don't worry about is the smiths. They'll lock up, and there's really not much you can retrade with them. You can buy their items that you want, but they're hard to keep happy sometimes. With the clerics, they're super easy. Sell them all the rotten flesh. We have a zombie pigman farm. I'll even sell them gold, and buy back. This is the one thing that really ticks me off, that they went straight to ender pearls instead of eyes of ender. So now you always have to go find blaze. But sit here, most of my glowstone I don't mine out of the nether. I buy back from clerics, keeping them unlocked. And last but not least would be the bottle enchanting. This is what I buy least often. Most of the time I'll just eat up all of their inventory of available inventory of glowstone or even ender pearls sometimes. Quite often I'll buy my lapis from them. Even hit the redstone if that's all I've got for enough. But yeah, you can usually get away with just having one 36 rotten flesh guy, and you'll be, you know, going forever with those. Uh, Farmer, you can sit there and trade over and over the same thing. And as you can see, somebody's been buying cakes, leaving them all over the place. I think that's Warlock. I think he likes to buy cakes. I like to buy apples. So that was my little tirade on villager trading. I don't know if it's going to be helpful for anybody, and I don't know how long I'll end up leaving it on the server. I might be able to edit that and bring it down more. And there's Harbinger. He's a new member of our server. Uh, since the forums changed the way that you write up the... Okay, where is my horse? There's my horse. I was like, Silver, you didn't you didn't run away on me. The Minecraft forum changed the way that you list your servers. So uh, relisted our server in the new format, and he was one of the people that actually asked to join the server. We weren't like really looking for uh, new people, but you know, we didn't say no to nobody. Of course, we hardly ever do. Uh, when people do apply for the server, there's always a vote of the current admins on whether to allow that person to join the server. We do things like look at MC bans and the kind of posts that they've made on the forum. Uh, unless we see like an obvious lie or discrepancy in age, we usually say yes to people. Go ahead and whitelist them. If they come on the server, they come on the server. We try to make them feel welcome. If they don't come on the server, we usually remove them from the whitelist after we have monthly cleanups, monthly or so. It's been a while since we've done one though, especially since we couldn't inform a lot of people when we switched over to the 1.9, and a lot of people didn't want to play the snapshots because it's buggy. Now we're all here doing this, and I need to go AFK again. So I'm going to lock myself up, and we'll talk to you again soon. So do that a couple times, and whoa, hello.